Hello, this is Robert Stearns. Hey, I want to thank you for tuning in. I really believe that learning is one of the greatest joys in life. And one of the greatest ways to learn is simply to have meaningful conversations, both with those who come from a similar background as yours, as well as those whose background might be very different. So my hope is that as we connect and converse with leaders from all around the world, that we will learn and grow together. If you're new with us, hit the subscribe button and we'll deliver the new episodes to you right away. So wherever you are, on a run, in the car, at the kitchen table with some coffee, welcome to the conversation. And welcome to this edition of Bishop and the Rabbi. God bless you all. Wow, look at the room is already filled up. Dozens already on board. Welcome everybody who is here tonight. Delaware is here. Columbus, Indiana, East Tennessee, Brooklyn, New York. We've got folks from all over. Hi, Mom Levin Good and Boyertown. Love you so much. Hey, sign in everybody. Put your name in. Tell us who you are, where you're watching from. And if you can help me scroll with those comments just so I can say hi to the folks who came in early. Type in your name and your city where you're watching from. Do us a favor. Every broadcast, we've got first-time folks. And so type in if you're a first-timer. We love our first-time guests. Youngstown, Ohio is here. New Jersey. The Borowskis are here from New Jersey. Dawn and Lenny, God bless you guys. Carol Moreau from Greenfield, Pennsylvania. David Krause from Boyertown, Amy Cummins from Baltimore. Amy and Heather, we are keeping Dad Cummins in prayer, Pastor John, who we love so dearly. Please give him our love. Roxana's here from Indiana. Sonia, our faithful Sonia, right here from Orchard Park. While the room continues to fill up, do us a favor. You have one job tonight. That is to hit the share button. So if y'all can hit the share button, that would be amazing. Oh, all right. We've got Brazil here is on Instagram. We've got Instagram Live in Brazil. Ricardo's here from Brazil. Mary Gramalia, who is my boss, is here. Ian Crow. We love you, Ian. God bless. Hey, Chelsea. Good to see you tonight. Samuel Bentley. We love you, Pastor Samuel Bentley. Rodney Salzman from Florida. Great to have everyone. Janet and Chris Marigula praying for you, standing with you guys. You guys have been going through such a tough time, and I want you to know that we love you and we are standing with you. So wonderful to be together. Look at this, everybody. We have tonight a studio audience. Here it is. Our studio audience is live and on the set tonight. My kids are here, and got to be on Instagram to see them. But we're all together. Some quick announcements, folks. Torah Tuesdays at 12. Exciting news. The upcoming December the 1st. So we're taking this Tuesday off. This Tuesday is off, but next Tuesday, December 1st, Mark Gerson will be teaching us from the book, from Psalm 23. So we're going to learn about Adonai Ro'i, the Lord my shepherd, from a Jewish perspective on December the 1st. We're going to open that up to the entire community. So everyone is welcome. Torah Tuesdays at 12. December 1st, we're going to learn on the 23rd Psalm from Mark Gerson. Also, we want to let you know we're having a kingdom conversation, and that is coming up Monday, the 23rd at 7 p.m. I'll be hosting Michael Koulianos. So tune in for that. God's using Michael powerfully. He's from a Greek Orthodox background. The Lord is using him in a wonderful way there in Florida. You're not going to want to miss hearing that. Please sign up for the podcast and all that is available there, downloading from Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and follow me on all my social. Instagram at Dr. Robert Stearns, the public figure page. Wow, did you guys see Buffalo Celebrates Israel? It was amazing. Type in if you saw Buffalo Celebrates Israel. It was absolutely incredible. And I think replays are available. Is that right now, production team? It's on Facebook. It's on YouTube. All right, YouTube. So go to Robert Stearns YouTube / look at that. The room is filling up. We got people coming in left and right. Akron, New York is here. Anaheim, California is here. So good to have everybody. Please hit the share button. Share. You can do it. You can do it. Hit the share button and tune in and be a part of that. Also, Abraham's Bread, help us to consistently, please, bless the needy of Israel right now. We are 2 feeding centers, one in Tiberias and one in Jerusalem, right across the street from the United Hatzalah headquarters. For just $18 a month, you can partner with Eagle's Wings. You can help us with Abraham's Bread, all that you're doing. Catalina, welcome to you from Pittsburgh. So glad to have you here tonight. All right, we are going to go right now to our very, very, very special guest, and we're going to get right into it tonight. I'm so excited about tonight. Join me, everybody, in welcoming our dear friend, first-time guest. I don't know why it took so long, but we have Rabbi Elie Weinstock with us tonight. And first of all, Rabbi, just let me say to you, Baruch haba, welcome. We are blessed to have you here, sir.
Thank you so much. Good things come to those who wait. Here I am.
That is right. And you, I don't know if you know this, but we are closing out the season with you because we're taking a break for Thanksgiving and we're going to take a break over the next couple of weeks, as I understand it. And so even though the Torah doesn't take a break, we are, and we're gonna come back strong in a few weeks. But you're going to close out this. So you are the what do they call that? The hitter. What is it? The pinch hitter. You're the pinch hitter. Yeah, you're the bases are loaded, and you're
Grand slam, baby.
That's it. That's right. So Rabbi Weinstock currently. First of all, he's a graduate of Yeshiva University. By the way, Rabbi, last night I was online with Rabbi Ari Lamb, Norman Lamb's grandson.
Sure.
I was his guest on the Joshua Project last evening. And then the day before that, I was on with the World Jewish Congress. So it's been a very busy week.
You spend more time with rabbis and Jews than I do.
So you are a graduate of Yeshiva University, and you currently have been a very faithful associate rabbi at Kehilat Jeshurun, where Rabbi Chaim Steinmetz is senior rabbi, and Rabbi Luckstein is rabbi emeritus. But you have just accepted an assignment at a prestigious synagogue, the Jewish Center of Atlantic Beach, right there on Long Island. And you will now be a senior rabbi there at this wonderful congregation. You have 4 incredible children. Your oldest child made Aliyah and has just joined the IDF. Yeah. And you've got to be so proud about that.
Very proud. It's a whole new experience, a whole new feeling. I remember she was just taking her first steps. And here she is now about to jump right into the defense of the Holy Land. So it's overwhelming, and if I start thinking about it, I'll start getting very nervous. But we're praying for her and all the people who are on the front lines everywhere, and but it's exciting.
So this is your daughter who graduated from high school and has made Aliyah. She's 18, 19?
So she's about to turn 20. She's graduated in 2019, spent a year studying in a religious seminary for a year as a gap year, and then decided that she wasn't coming back. She was home. She didn't have to come back.
So she went to Israel, did a gap year, fell in love with the land, and has stayed there and joined. And so here is your daughter becoming an army in the spirit of Deborah in the Israeli army. And Rabbi, can we ask her name?
Sure. Her name is Me'ira.
Me'ira.
And she's light because she was born on Hanukkah.
Oh, that's beautiful. She was born on Hanukkah, and so her name is Light. And we're praying for Rabbi Penny Dunner's son, Meir, who just joined the IDF. We're praying for Samuel Carpenter, our friend who just joined the IDF, and we're going to add Me'ira to our prayer list and declare over her, Hine lo yanum velo yashan shomer Yisrael, and just declare every blessing and every protection over Me'ira. And we're so proud of you and your family. And here's this, guys. This is mind-blowing. Rabbi is in Manhattan, a successful synagogue. Here is a 20-year-old American girl saying no to the materialism of America, saying no to the shopping mall, saying no to TikTok, and going making Aliyah, returning to the land of her forefathers and foremothers, and then not only returning, but saying, I'm going to sign up in the IDF. I am going to defend the land that Hashem has given us by covenant. This is so honorable, so amazing. And you've got to have such nachas, Rabbi, to feel this.
Lots of nachas, for sure. Over a lot of pride. Thank you.
Well, wonderful. We're going to keep Me'ira in our prayers. All right, everybody, we're going to turn to our portion tonight, Genesis 25. We're going to get started. Please hit the share button. Last chance, hit the share button. Get the word out. It really helps us. We are in Genesis 25, beginning with verse 19. The name of the parsha is Toldot. And we're dealing with Isaac and Rebekah. And Isaac has married Rebekah. Eliezer, the faithful servant of Abraham, found Rebekah for Isaac. And Rebekah watered the camels. She expressed that ability to serve, that ability to work. And that was the sign that Eliezer was waiting for. And Isaac and Rebekah married. But for 20 years, Rebekah has not been able to conceive. And this is heartbreaking to her. And surely, Rabbi, this is one of the things that we deal with in pastoral work. When you have a wonderful couple, they love each other, they love God, they want to have a family. And it's one of the deepest pains for a family when they cannot conceive. And Isaac and Rebekah have very real struggles. The scripture is filled with stories of real people going through real problems. The scripture is not all angels and talking donkeys. The scripture is filled with very real people, very real stories going through very real problems. And Rebekah is childless. And that's where we pick up the story here in Toldot. Rabbi, take it away, sir. The floor is yours.
Sure. Bishop, you set it up in terms of the couple right before we encounter them trying to start a family and not having initial success. Right before that, they were madly in love. One of the first examples of love was Isaac loving Rebekah, and here, let's have a family, but it was not yet meant to be. And I think that you hit the nail on the head in terms of the Torah text providing us with examples of not only our inspiring matriarchs and patriarchs, but real people, real struggles. What do you do? And the Torah tells us what they did. They prayed. They sought answers. They sought meaning. They sought direction. They sought a way to go forward. And even when, by the grace of God, Rebekah becomes pregnant, she's still not exactly sure what comes next. She feels a little something that doesn't seem exactly to be the way she expected it to be. And we have her ask a very powerful question. In Hebrew, it's Lama ze anochi? Why me? And which is, I think, a question that can stop a lot of us, especially these days. Why me? Why is this happening? Why does this have to happen now? And
there's never a convenient time for a trial, is there?
Never. Why me?
There's never a convenient time for a problem. There's never a convenient time for an illness. There's never a convenient time to lose a job. There's never a convenient time for a pandemic. But these things interrupt our lives.
Right. And Rebekah also models what happens when the interruption occurs. It says, and she went lidrosh. She sought God. She was seeking meaning. Why is this happening? What can I do? Pivot from the confusion, pivot from the pain, pivot from the uncertainty, and seek some form of stability, some form of meaning. Even if you can't get a full answer, find a way to turn the discomfort, turn the pain, turn to the uncertainty into something positive.
Now, I want to give us the exact reference so folks know what we're talking about precisely. Yeah. We're in 25, and we're in verse 22.
Yes.
I don't think I brought my glasses down tonight.
25, 22.
Right. It says the babies jostled within her, and she said, "Why is this happening to me?" Because she was having twins. She didn't know it, but she felt this kind of jostling back and forth. And she said, why is this happening? It says she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples from within you will be separated. One will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger. And Rabbi, we have to pause for a moment and say, this is yet another example where the Hebrew scriptures come into help lead the way to modernity and are very egalitarian according to the times. Why? Primogeniture, the law of the firstborn, was absolutely the thing that's being practiced in all ancient cultures. The firstborn gets the blessing. The firstborn gets the money. The firstborn inherits everything. But here, by the word of the Lord, by the prophetic word, it says the older is actually going to serve the younger. And so what God was doing was against the culture of the time.
For sure. And you want to talk about countercultural. Who's not in this conversation? Isaac. This is Rebecca taking the lead. She's the one who is receiving this initial vision and statement and what's going to happen from the Lord. And so we're turning things on their head in terms of the order of who inherits whom and who's going to lead. And here is Rebecca, the one giving us this message. Isaac finds out later.
Yeah. All right, take us onward.
So as has been foretold to Rebecca, there are indeed twins, and these 2 young lads are very different, as different can be. You have the first one born, full of hair, ruddy complexion, ready to go.
I'm laughing at my twins who are just offset because I have twins. They mean, and they're saying, "Dad, don't you dare show us on camera again." But I know a little bit about twins who are totally opposite.
There you go. So it certainly came to pass that way, and you have one ready to go, all in some extent understood as being ready to hit the ground running right out of the womb, and then comes the little guy, but the little guy has a little spunk, because as the text says, he's coming out holding on to the heel of the older one. He doesn't want to let the other one out. He may be younger, but he has a lot of spunk. He has a lot of spirit. And because he's holding on to the heel of the older, Akev, he is called Yaakov. He is called Jacob. This changes the household for Rebecca and for Isaac, and they have these 2 sons, and their different natures appeal to the different parents in different ways. And each of them has that unique and distinct personality. But remember, Rebecca was the one who knew that there's got to be something special about this little guy, about this younger one, because he's going to grow into something spectacular, something even bigger than his big brother.
Esau is the hunter. Esau is the man's man. He and Isaac connect very strongly. He connects with his father. Jacob is the younger, and he's around the house more. He and Rachel are very close, and there's this kind of sibling rivalry between them that goes on throughout. Now, skipping ahead towards the end of the story, we won't do that today. But in the end, there's a beautiful reconciliation, really, and there's an absolute there's hope for dysfunctional families.
That's right.
In the end, these issues work out, and there's a beautiful reconciliation. But they've got to work through their issues, and
absolutely. And they're trying to maybe be. They're each trying to maybe be a little bit of the other one. Esau. It's not that Esau doesn't see that what Jacob does, and that Jacob finds favor with Rebecca for his quieter, more cerebral approach. And Jacob, I think, might be a little bit jealous of the man's man, the hunter, the outdoorsman. As we're about to see, when they do a deal over a pot of soup, Jacob feels he has the advantage finally that he normally doesn't have. That where his older brother had been the one who's really much more frontal in public and in more popular in his father's eyes. You sort of wonder whether each is trying to gain a little bit of traction against the other one. And we could ask your twins if that's ever happened to them, but.
Well, all these folks are saying now Laverne is a twin, and Joseph Santa Cruz, he's saying he's a twin. We got all these twins online tonight. So, all right, so we come to the core of the story. Esau has been out hunting. He comes in. He's hot. He's tired. He's hungry, and he says to Jacob, "Make me some food." Okay, make me some food.
Make me food, or I'm going to die if you don't.
Okay, so he's a flair for the dramatic, right?
That's right.
And Jacob says, "I'll make you food if you give me your birthright." Mm-hmm. And Esau flippantly, unthinkingly says, "That's fine. Take the birthright. Just give me food." And this is the quintessential moment where, life and death are in the power of the tongue. Words really matter. But Esau wasn't thinking about the import of those words, but Jacob was. Jacob knew that somehow there actually was a transaction. Now, Rabbi, I'm very sorry to put you on the spot, and I should have texted you before because I'm going to ask you a tough question.
Okay.
But this is especially hard for us in a Christian construct, but maybe you've lived with the story longer than we have. Maybe you can help us. How is it that Jacob is destined for this because this prophecy is over him in the womb? And so we know that ultimately he's following the will of God because it's been prophesied beforehand. And yet he's engaging in subterfuge, in deceit. A few chapters later, he's going to put skins on himself his father's gone blind, and his father's going to feel the lamb skin and think that it's Esau, and he's going to give him the blessing. How does God use Jacob's unrighteousness to still bless him? That seems counterintuitive to us. And forgive me, I should have asked you ahead of time because I'm putting you on the spot. That's a tough question.
Well, look, I think that God has a plan, and at the same time, human beings can get in the way. And as you pointed out, Bishop, this ends the way it's supposed to end. But to get there requires an unfolding. I think that Esau coming forward, being willing to flippantly, as you say, give up his birthright, begins to be an indication to Jacob that this is happening. Everything that mom said, that I'm going to be the one who ultimately gets the blessing because that's what God said. Maybe Jacob hadn't been so sure about it, but now it's starting to come to fruition.
Wow. Yeah.
And Isaac, as the patriarch, again, remember we said before, we don't know what exactly his place was in receiving the prophecy of Jacob's ascension. But he's also a father who has a son, and there was a way of doing things. And in many ways, he saw his son Jacob as being maybe too simple and too ordinary and too plain to rise to the occasion. And this unfolding the way it does, with Jacob taking advantage first of Esau's flippant rejection of the birthright and his ability to move forward with subterfuge, to listening to his mother's plan to get things done, maybe that begins to open up Isaac's eyes more fully to the way this is supposed to be.
That's a fascinating insight. One wonders if it's amazing. Actually, now, and this is why it's so beautiful to consider these stories and to think over these stories, because you see them in a fresh light. Rebecca has received this prophecy. Isaac, as you say, seems kind of absent from it. So he's maybe not dialed in on what's supposed to be. So Isaac's moving forward with just the wisdom of the day, which is that, Esau is going to get the blessing. And maybe this had to unfold the way it did because Isaac wouldn't have gotten it otherwise. Isaac would have just gone with, the way things always have been, and this is the way it's done. And so maybe this is one of those times where some unusual circumstances had, one of my great rabbinic mentors of blessed memory, Rabbi Gerald Meister, and was he a trip? There was no one like him. He had a sense of humor like Joe Potasnik's. He was erudite. He was witty. He was amazing. And one of his famous lines, he said, God writes straight. It's the lines that are crooked. God writes straight. It's the lines of our life that are crooked. But so it's fascinating. So eventually, Jacob secures the blessing. Esau is overwhelmed and heartbroken. But of course, there is still a blessing for Esau. It's just not the blessing that he was hoping for at the beginning. And Rabbi, I can't believe how our time is slipping away from us. Take us to the final one or two main takeaway thoughts from this incredibly complex parsha, and help us see some of these other thoughts.
So no, you tee it up in terms of Esau gets a blessing. It's not the one he wants, but three very powerful words at the end, I think, take us home, because when Isaac finds out what happened, and Jacob had been blessed, and he thought it was Esau, and Esau comes in and wants a blessing. It says that in the text that Isaac says, your brother came and he took the blessing, and he received the blessing, and he says, Gam Baruch Yihiyeh, which is the Hebrew for now he must remain blessed. This is chapter 27, verse 33. And that's very powerful, because when this story concludes, when all is said and done, Isaac realizes what's supposed to be. He sees what has happened, and he knows that when he thought it was Esau, it really was Jacob, and now it's Esau, and Esau gets us another kind of blessing. But Gam Baruch Yeh, this is how it has to be. Yeah, it's an acknowledgement of God's plan.
It's verse 33. I blessed him, and indeed he will remain blessed. He will be blessed. And it's almost again like he has this dawning realization in his last days. I guess what Rebecca said all those years ago was accurate. I guess that prophetic word was accurate. This is going to stand. This is the will of Hashem.
And maybe husbands forevermore should realize they should have listened the first time to what he said. But it's and so that the process, as you mentioned, it unfolded maybe with crooked lines and with people's decisions and people's maybe even sincere desire to try and make things different. There's a whole rabbinic understanding found in some of the Jewish commentaries that Isaac really thought Esau had the potential. As a man of the outdoors, he was there and ready to bring the message of Abraham out there to the people. With his confidence, he'd be able to go forth and be able to bring that message in an effective way, even more so than maybe Isaac himself. But those were aspirations, those were dreams. It wasn't meant to be reality. God had another plan. And we see from the way it unfolds, certain lessons that we can take home, whether it be that not to lose that potential, to take the boldness and the confidence of an Esau and to channel it in the right direction in ways to spread forth a gospel, like on Facebook Live or on Instagram, and to take it forward. We learned that message from the way Isaac thought he would use his son Esau, but instead we'll pick up where Esau left off and take it forward. And I think it's also very powerful that Isaac still loved his son, even if he had to say no to Esau, to not to give him the blessing that he wanted. And so, your brother is the one who's going to be blessed. This is the destiny. This is what God intends. But you're still my son, Esau. I love you. Yeah. And as you pointed out, there's going to be a very poignant reunification at some point.
Right. We're talking tonight, we're learning from an incredible teacher, Rabbi Elie Weinstock. He's just been appointed as senior rabbi at the Jewish Center of Atlantic Beach in Long Island. Those of you down in that area need to connect with him. He has 4 amazing children. His oldest daughter, Mira, Myra, has just made Aliyah to Israel and joined the IDF, and we're going to remember her in our prayers. We're going to lift her up, that the Lord should keep her safe and protected. And he's been teaching us tonight out of the story, the Parsha Toldot, which tells the story of Isaac and Rebekah and the birth of Jacob and Esau, and how their lives unfold. And you know, Rabbi, it comes to me that you know, Jacob had the blessing, but boy, he had to work for it, because he's got to go now. He's going to spend 7 years with Laban, and thinking that he's getting Rachel, but he's getting Leah, and then he's going to do 7 more years. You know, in other words, he pays a little bit of the price for his subterfuge, because Laban turns it right back on him. You know, we don't believe in karma, but there's kind of a karmic moment right there where Laban gives right back to him. He reaps the kind of, you know, intrigue and difficulty that he's sown. But in the end, he is blessed, and Esau is blessed. And so this is just this powerful story of family dynamics, of Rebekah receiving this prophecy, Isaac really not connecting to it. Isaac's thinking a little more around natural lines of things. And yet in the end, he recognizes the validity of it. And again, in the far end of it, there is a beautiful reconciliation. Jacob tries to present all of these gifts, all of these cattle and sheep to Esau, because he's terrified of him. And Esau says, listen, I'm blessed, I'm wealthy, I'm fine, you know. And so all of us, if we could see 10 years, 20 years, 30 years into our future, things that seem so horrible now have a way of working themselves out. And we just have to trust.
Especially in you know, when looking at sometimes the things which aren't the way we want them right now in front of us, that you know, this too shall pass. And you know, we're talking the week before a day on the calendar when everyone likes to spend time with family. Right, this Thanksgiving we may not be able to spend it around the exact same table. That's what we have Zoom for, I guess. But around that table will be people who have had interactions that may not have been always that savory, and that may not always have been the way we wanted it to be. But it's family, and into the future, we know that there will be a blessed reunion, you know, in person, in good times. That you know, whatever our differences are, there is that family reunion in our future.
Well, Rabbi, it's beautiful. Rabbi, I know there's so many of our followers who would love to learn more with you. Do you have an email list? Do you really put a drosh out? How do they connect with you on social? How do they follow you?
Sure, they can follow me on social, Rabbi Weinstock on Facebook. I also have a blog, rabbielieweinstock.blogspot.com. The title of the blog is Just Judaism, just Torah. Just let's make it about these types of interactions that are based on study and faith together. So,
well, Rabbi, we as a Christian community are so grateful that you've taken time to share with us tonight.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. It's a great way to the season finale, because, you know, the next couple of weeks, you know, there's a little bit of you know, too much drama. We'll come back and it will be all exciting once again. And love the opportunity to study with you and all of your followers and all the friends and new friends, and look forward to more faithful connection in the future.
Absolutely. So everybody, a reminder, this Tuesday, we will not be meeting for Torah Tuesdays at 12, but next Tuesday, we're doing a special one class. It's just one class on the 23rd Psalm, and it's going to be free and open to the public. Normally, that's only for our partners, but it'll be free and open to the public, so you can go ahead and invite all of your friends for that incredible Torah Tuesday class. Also, make sure that your local church is inviting Mark Gerson for his virtual book tour of The Telling. And you're going to be hearing more about that, but we're going to be releasing Mark's new book right after the first of the year. So lots of exciting things going on. Everybody should be safe. Everybody, it's crazy time. I don't know what's going on, but we do know that that we can trust the Lord. He is watching over all of this, and he has a plan in the midst of it. So stay safe, Rabbi. All the best to you and your amazing family. Greet the Kehilat Jeshurun family for us.
Absolutely.
We love your shul. We love your synagogue, your community. And everybody be safe, be well, and keep praying for the peace of Jerusalem. God bless you.